So this is some of it's semi-old growth, some of it's newer. So there's some understory plants trying to get through, but there's a lot of little saplings. And the animals are even the pigs are going to be eating things that maybe we aren't even seeing. They're digging in the ground and getting roots, but they're eating bugs. And it's always better to let an animal free forage than just feed them something, because everything from the pigs to the chickens to the cows, they know what they want to eat. And we're using them to clear this a little bit. There's a big bunch of them up there. Can you see them? They're all gathered together. I'm not sure what's going on. We'll figure it out when we get up there. There might be some little water hole or something. A lot of times they find something they either want to dig up, or they find a space to... Pigs don't have sweat glands, so to cool off they lay in the dirt and wall around in the mud. And it's not that they're dirty, they're trying to cool off. Wow, yeah, there's a lot of them out here. It's probably some really loose soil or something that they like. But they're far enough into the woods that they feel safe. And it's nice and cool. Once one of them starts freaking out, they all seem to do it. Didn't even know those ones are over there. Yeah, there's a bunch more over there hiding too. So yeah, this just looks like some really dark black soil. This is so different than what we saw out there. This is what the forest did, from laying leaves down and yeah, so look how different this is, and I wouldn't have found this spot. They found an area that's some kind of root they like. They've been tearing it up. They've probably been eating it. They're digging down here in the soil, and I bet it's because there's bugs in that soil. It looks like a really super healthy soil. Plus it's cooling them off. Now they will rub their noses all over and get me filthy if I let them, but they don't want to eat you. Yeah, I haven't been out here for a little while in this area. Let's see what else they've done. Yeah, this is really cool. They've got some little brush here for shade and lay their belly down in the dirt. They've got moss and leaves, and I wouldn't know what they want to eat, but they do. All these old logs, they'll break them apart and eat the bugs.
So what is the benefit of having them raised in the forest as opposed to...
Well, it's a more natural environment, first of all. That's the most important thing. They're used to it. They can cool off here on a hot day. They can hide from predators. They can find a more diverse diet. I mean, like I said, look at all this stuff in here. They've broken up all these logs. Some of it's to play. I mean, animals get bored and they get into trouble sometimes if you don't give them something to do. So for one thing, it gives them something to do. They like to dig. So you see people would put a ring in a pig's snout. It's to keep them from digging, because they don't want them to dig, and that's not what we're doing here. We want to celebrate the pigness of the pig, as Joel Salatin would say, and let all these animals be what they want to be. They like the habitat better. They feel more comfortable because they can hide and run away. They get a more varied diet, and we get this whole forest cleared out better. Eventually, what we like to do is, once they've cleared some of this, we take out some of the old trees and bring more sunlight in through the canopy, and then we come through and we'll plant things for them, some root crops, sweet potatoes, and whatever would grow in here that they'd like to eat. But right now, this is every bit as good as that. Yeah, they're all in one spot, but like I said, there's 5 acres here. It's just that once again, they're herd animals and they're curious. People talk about their pigs and how they're fed, and I've heard people brag about, acorn fed and all that kind of stuff, and that's great. I think a natural diet is the best way to go. We have some of those things around here. I think from the human standpoint, I think them eating as many green plants is really the goal. I think green plants put on omega-3 fats and some of the other healthy fats. And that's why your doctor would tell you, would have told you to eat fish, because they eat algae and they eat green plants. And now they're feeding them corn and soy too, which is crazy, because I don't know where in the world a fish would have got corn and soy. But so these guys eating green plants, just like the cows, gives them a different kind of fat than certainly different than just the grain. And we do give them some grain; it's a healthy grain. But you can see where they're spending most of the time. They're out here eating. They're going to have filled their belly up on a lot of stuff out here before they go out and finish up and get a few more calories from the healthy grains we gave them. No, it makes a huge difference. And if my own personal feeling is that, if there were acorns and things here, we'd certainly let them eat them. But, a lot of the people who are eating this kind of food, that are sourcing healthy foods, are already eating nuts. So feeding their food more nuts may not necessarily be the best strategy. Why give them more of that? It's those nuts are also omega-6 fats, the same fats that you'd find in corn and soy. And there's other ones too. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying that I don't know that a nut-fed pig is better than one that's eating green plants, whether it's pasture land or green forest plants like they're getting here, and the roots and the bugs and all these things that are so not only is it clean, but it's a different source of nutrition for them than I could possibly provide if I thought I was just going to put them in a pen and feed them something.